Welcome back, Village, to another episode of Jedi Learning with Barbican 2. And this will be our first edition of the 2021 Ed Update. So January, the second week of January, this is January 14th when this is being recorded. And we're going to get right into it today. As you see, the title of this particular breakdown is called Apple Wants to Be Your Uncle REJI. Now, a lot of you out there, especially some of you guys who listen to Nipsey Hussle, you guys probably got an Uncle REJI. I actually have an Uncle REJI myself. And I point that out because Apple just came out with the REJI initiative. They came out with this initiative right after the Breonna Taylor and the George Floyd assassinations and all the violence and upheaval that ensued. As a result of that, a lot of Fortune 500 companies, especially tech companies, pledged millions of dollars to the Black community to help uplift them with education, app development centers, and different venture capital opportunities. So some people are saying, well, this is just opportunistic. You know, you're coming in at the right time just to go ahead and capitalize on the situation that's going on. Other people are saying, who cares? Take it, learn those skills, and run with it. And we will discuss both of those perspectives as we get into it today. So let's get, like I said, right into it. Number one, Apple was no fool. They didn't name it their Robert initiative, or they didn't name it their Kevin initiative, or even their Bradley initiative. They said the REJI initiative. So it's almost kind of funny and sad at the same time. But right now, it's not the time for your tears. You have plenty of time for that later, and I'll let you know when that is. So they're coming to the Black community with the stereotypical name of this program because they are playing on your ignorance and on your heartstrings. They're saying, oh, these people, they're just going to hear a Black name and try to gravitate towards it. So what I did is I did a little research on names. You know, names are extremely powerful. They're actually a part of your personality. If we look back into African psychology, your name was a part of your actual bodily makeup. The 9 parts of your body that you had, including your spirit and intelligence, one of those parts was your name. You could not access certain deities or gods or Neteru if you don't know those gods' names. So I did a little research on REJI. And I'm wondering, why is REJI a stereotypical Black name? Where does it come from? And these answers might surprise you. REJI is actually Latin, okay? REJI used to be Rex, okay? You think about the X, and if it's pronounced in different languages, it could be the sh sound, it might be Reshi. So initially, it was Rex. And if anybody knows Latin, what does Rex mean? You say Tyrannosaurus Rex, you're talking about the Tyrannosaurus King. So REJI is actually long for Rex, which is actually Latin for king. So even though Apple tried to pull the okie doke, we ain't the ones. No, we did the research and we said, oh, this is the King initiative. So we will go ahead and take that and take it to the next level. But the funny thing is that it coincides with the Epiphany. Right now we're in the time of Carnival, or farewell to the flesh. The Epiphany happened on January 6th and 7th, and then it's going to go all the way up until Mardi Gras, which is Fat Tuesday. That's also called Three Kings Day. Y'all get it? Okay. Three Magi Day, because this is the day when Jesus Christ was supposed to be revealed to the Gentiles in the form of three magicians or three kings. So, Three Kings Day, you eating your king's cake, and Apple comes out with the King initiative, the REJI initiative. So what's contained in this big, gigantic initiative? Well, $100 million going to these communities. You got some going to Detroit, about $10,000 for an app development center. So people will be able to take 30-day to a year-long course and develop apps for Apple's ecosystem. They're also going to donate $25 million to the Propel Center, which is in Atlanta. And that will satisfy their obligation to work with HBCUs and the Black community to uplift their technical support. So they'll be able to offer remote classes at the AU Center on these particular topics: software development, app development, things of that nature. They're going to provide money to two different venture capital firms. And these venture capital firms provide money specifically to minority businesses and small businesses, might I add. So you can see a lot of money is moving around, not only in the area of venture capitalists to develop entrepreneurs and to invest in Black businesses, but also in teaching people how to move into the next phase of this life existence that we're having, which is coding and software development and the internet of things. So you might have to also look at this with another side eye and say, why would Apple be doing this? Number one, publicity. Number two, you'd have to read some of the articles that came out discussing this particular issue. The one that caught my attention was called Apple Shares Are Unmoved After It Announces Racial Justice Initiative. That already sent bells flying, because what they were expecting is that by announcing this $100 million donation, that their stock price was going to go up, which is going to allow their investors and their shareholders to make more money eventually on the back end. So they're not doing this out of the kindness of their heart because somebody got killed and somebody rioted and they want to uplift your community and see you do well. No, they are banking that they're going to continue to do well and do even better based on their donation to you. So I say go learn everything that you can. Take advantage, get some of that money, but always understand where you came from. Yes, you can be manipulated by people giving you things. It'll change your motivations. But if you can stay true to who you are, stay true to your roots, and stay true to your foundation in your neighborhood, in your home, you will have no problem. Learn everything you need, bring it back to the community, eventually working to develop your own. Okay? You do not want to be dependent not only on the government, but also on these big, gigantic companies for your well-being. So Reggie, Apple, King, we see you, and we got our eyes on you. Now, our next phase that we want to go into is a discussion about the end of transcripts. A lot of you already know, we're moving to the digital world, and transcripts as you know it, grades as you know it, are over with. What you're going to have now are portable learning documents, or portable learning records. What this is essentially just a file which you control. You develop this file. It lists all your skills, all your qualifications, everything that you're able to do, so that when you upload these skills, they can be verified by an employer and they can offer you positions. This is excellent for people who are moving out of the old-fashioned way of working 9 to 5 and moving in towards the gig economy, because they can control what skills they want, when they want to go to school, what they want to learn, and also what skills they need to go ahead and provide to an employer for opportunities. What the employers are doing are looking on various sites such as Indeed and LinkedIn to see who has the qualifications, not to see what degree you got, not to see how much money you in debt in, and see what grades you got because the teacher liked you and not because of any particular objective, ratings. This is what they're looking at. They just want to know your skills. Can you code? Do you know Python? Do you know C++? Can you do some app development? Can you develop for Apple software? Can you develop for Android software? What can you do? If you can do those things, it's not really going to matter where you learn them. You're going to be able to say, hey, guess what? I learned app development on Khan Academy. I'm adding that to my portable learning record. Guess what? I learned business management over here at my local junior college online. I'm going to add that to my portable learning document. And then I'm going to upload that to any type of job site or send it directly to an employer, and they can see what skills I have, verify them, and then offer me the position based on that. Excellent because it's portable. It's excellent because it's not dependent on somebody else determining what you have to take and what skills you have to learn in order to get employment or even become an entrepreneur for that matter. Okay? There's no ceiling. There's no way somebody can say, you don't have this piece of paper unless you just don't have that skill, so you can't come work here. We're not going to offer you a position. So it's portable. It can be moved. It doesn't have to stay in a central office or location. You don't have to go back to your old high school or your old college and get a sealed document. You will control that. You will upload what you want to on that, and you will determine who you want to give it to. Okay? So all this whole ecosystem is being built out right now. But what you're seeing is the end of the transcript as we know it. Pages and pages of classes that you took that you don't remember what was in those particular classes because you were just doing it to satisfy a check mark so you can get the end degree to eventually become employed. Last but not least is the situation with a professor at Chapman University. Now, I will say that is one of my alma maters. I went to quite a few different schools, and Chapman University in Orange is one of them. But I did not know about the situation with John Eastman until a couple of days ago. Some of you might be saying, well, who is John Eastman? I don't know him from Adam. And that is true. And I'll give you a breakdown of who he is. He was a professor in the law school at Chapman University, and he has some controversial views on things, especially this last election. He felt like the election was rigged. He felt like there was cheating going on. He felt like there was voter fraud going on, and he was vocal about doing that. He actually gave a speech next to Rudy Giuliani. I can't even spit his name out. Rudy Giuliani, right before the quote-unquote Capitol Hill insurrection. We'll just leave it at that. So they're saying that he almost incited this violence and incited this riot. So there's been a ton of pressure on Chapman University to let him go and to take his honorary degrees away and do X, Y, and Z. When he's been an established professor there for years, and because his perspective doesn't line up with the narrative or the mainstream media's perspective, he's being ostracized, and they're going after him right now. As a matter of fact, the president has just said, even though he's not God and he doesn't determine who, keeps the job and who doesn't, it was best that they parted ways at this particular time. So they have forced John Eastman into early retirement based on some of the views and speeches that he gave. Some also might not even know he ran against Kamala Harris for Attorney General before she got the job in California. So he has a long history of putting in some very, very interesting work, but doing it all really behind the scenes. So I had to bring this up because it was something that touched close to home, but also to let people know to beware out there. Almost everything that you say now, not only is it being recorded, but it's being used to persecute you, outside of any type of objective reality. It's subjective to who gets the hammer and who doesn't. Some people say certain things, some people have certain beliefs. Not all of them are being arrested or asked to resign, but it seems like some people who have other perspectives are being, bank accounts are being shut down. Their social media accounts are being shut down. They're being asked to resign. They're being fired. They're being let go. It is just getting really intense out there as far as you being able to say what your heart desires. So, I bring that up just to give everybody out there a warning, give the village a warning that anything can happen in this new day and age where anything you say, type, text, post can be used against you. So that was a lot. We're coming up on our time limit for our nice little ed update. We hope that this information was valuable to you and that you can kind of see and follow what we've been talking about. Once again, a small recap. We told you that Apple wants to be your Uncle REJI with the Racial Equity Justice Initiative. They aim to donate money to the Black community in order to uplift them through entrepreneurship and giving them the skills they need to meet tomorrow's demands. Is this an olive branch being extended to the family? Or is it Greeks bearing gifts? I can give you my answer now, but we'll see what time brings. Then we went into the portable learning documents, which are going to eradicate transcripts in the near future. We've talked about how colleges are dying, so there really is no need for transcripts on that level, but also coming out of high school, coming out of trade school, anywhere where you need to show somebody what you can do without literally having them watch you do it, it's changing. It's changing drastically. And one way it's changing is by transcripts becoming these portable learning documents. And lastly, John Eastman. this man has basically is under a witch hunt from some things that he believed that do not jive and line up with the main narrative that's going on right now. But remember, this man has been an established professor for years and years at some of the most esteemed colleges. And I think he was not actually teaching at Chapman at the time, but was on a special assignment at another college when all this went down. So he wasn't even there, and he had to resign from a job where he wasn't even at the particular point in time. But that's all happening just because of his views and what he says. So you guys be careful out there. What you post, what you text, what you type, what you say, and who you might do those things around, because you never know who might be lurking, who might try to use that against you at some point in time. This has been Babakin 2 with another episode of Jedi Learning and our 2021 Ed Update. The first one of the year, okay? Second week of January, so a week behind, but this one was packed full of information. So we hope to see y'all again soon. We want to let y'all know that anyone can learn to learn, and this is Jedi Learning, where we resurrect communities through superior education. This is Babakin 2 signing off. Hope to see you soon. Peace.